is equal to beta 1 xi plus beta 2 zi plus ei. Right? I want to solve for beta 1 and beta 2. But this is saying that if x and z are perfectly correlated, मुझको ये मिलने वाला नहीं.
I have one question. With summation xi square divided by n and then summation zi square divided by n and then the next line is
See, this part is nothing but the variance of x, no?
right,
Sum of the squares of x upon n.
right,
This is the variance of z.
right,
And this is nothing but the covariance square.
right,
Right? So I get sigma square x z minus covariance xz square is 0.
right,
If the determinant is 0. Which means that covariance xz square is sigma square x sigma square z. If I divide both sides, it becomes 1.
right.
If I take the square root on both sides, then I get correlation here, 1 remains 1. So this determinant will be 0 if x and z are perfectly correlated.
So then that equation changes to that one on the top, that's covariance x and z and then divided by
Yeah. So it says the determinant would be 0 if the correlation between x and z is 0. Correlation x and z is 1. That is, I can't solve for beta 1 and beta 2. Q, what is the intuitive meaning for this?
When you are doing xi square by n, that is variance.
Yeah.
But x minus x1 is like that is like
Yeah, but now think of, because I am not putting an alpha here, right? If I am not putting an alpha here, you think of all these variables as I have subtracted the mean. Right, but
Also the mean you supposed to be 0, x.
yeah, or suppose these are all variables from which I have subtracted their individual means already, so their means will be 0. So suppose I scale all the variables by taking their means off, right? So what does it mean? The more intuitive point is, if x and z are perfectly correlated, beta 1 beta 2 nahi milega. Because what is beta 1? Beta 1 is the derivative of y1 with respect to x1, keeping z constant. It tells me how much y varies with x if z does not vary at all. So मेरे पास household है, their income levels है, education levels है. If I fix the education levels and change only household income levels, beta tells me how their financial assets will change. Beta 1. Beta 2 tells me कि मैं households का income level fix करता हूँ, and if I change their average education levels, how will their financial assets change? Right? So, beta 1 tells me how y1 changes with x1 keeping z constant. But suppose in your data, if x and z are perfectly correlated, the moment x changes, z is going to change. So you're not going to have effectively any data to solve your problem. Because if you want to see how people's financial assets change with their income, keeping the education level constant, you must have at least 2 households with the same education level but different income levels. Only then will you be able to say that दोनों households का income same है, but मैंने income education level same है, income मैंने change किया, एक का इतना रुपया है, इसका financial assets इतना है, दूसरे का इतना रुपया, उसका financial इतना है, तो income change होता है तो इतना financial assets मिलता है, keeping education level constant. But if x and z are perfectly correlated, you will not find any points like this. Because every time x changes, z will change by the same amount. Yeah? Every time x goes down, z will go down or go up by the same amount. Because they will be perfectly correlated. In which case, therefore, you will not have effectively, even if you have 500 observations, you will effectively have 0 observations. Because you will not have even a single point to vary x keeping z constant and vary z keeping x constant. Yeah? Sure? Therefore, it says that you actually don't have any data. It says I just don't have enough information to be able to tell you what is beta 1 and beta 2. Because x and z are perfectly correlated. If x and z are imperfectly correlated, you might at least find some data points. Ideally, you should have them independent. Then you can get the maximum information. Right? Are you seeing this point?
So there is a certain derivation here between x and z.
If x and z are perfectly correlated, like for example, you are looking at say a child's educational attainment as a function of the mother's educational attainment and father's educational attainment. And suppose you find that the father's and mother's educational attainments are perfectly correlated. Then you will not find beta 1 which is really asking you अगर father का educational attainment constant रखूँ और mother का vary करूँ तो child education पे क्या फर्क पड़ता है, और mother का constant रखूँ father का vary करूँ तो what is the impact on the child's education? That is what beta and beta 2 are supposed to give us. But if in your data every time father's education changes, mother's education also changes by the same amount, right? Perfectly. Because they're perfectly correlated, you will never be able to answer the question how much does a child's educational attainment change as the father's educational attainment changes, keeping the mother's educational attainment constant. You will never be able to separate out those effects if x and z are perfectly correlated. Which the computer will say that which is the computer's way of saying that the determinant of x dash x is 0, so I can't invert the matrix. So your R will throw out something called matrix inversion failed. Right? You think it's a problem with the software. It's not a problem with the software, it's a problem with the data that's gone in. Right? Okay, so you need, how do you solve that problem? You need to find some more observations on x and z which are not correlated. Yeah? Okay. So having said this, let's now find the determinant of x and z. Okay, let's find the determinant of x dash x. So the determinant of x dash x, इसको भी छोड़ देते हैं, ये हमारा determinant हो गया, right? ये हमारा determinant हो गया, और x transpose x को क्या देते हैं? We must have done that matrix of cofactors and all that.
Yes.
Yeah? Good.
Today.
Right. So इसको पहले इसको निकालेंगे, इसको यहाँ डालेंगे, इसका साइन पॉजिटिव रहेगा because so this will be summation zi square. इसको कट करेंगे, ये रखेंगे, माइनस करेंगे ना. Similarly इसको कट करेंगे, ये बचेगा, right? And finally इसको करेंगे, right? And this has to be divided by this quantity. So I just write it here outside. Yeah? You have to divide by the determinant, right? To get the inverse. So ये करेंगे तो आपको inverse मिलेगा. So what आपके पास x और z का वैल्यूज है, z स्क्वायर करना है, x1 into z1 plus x2 into z2 plus x3 into z3 सब करना है, xi स्क्वायर करना है. You find to find these quantities, x1 square summation zi square into summation xi zi square. Then to find these quantities will give you x dash x inverse. X dash y कैसे आएगा? X dash y will be x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. Okay? This will be x transpose. Sorry, this has to be z1, z2, z3, z4, z5, and y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. Right? So x transpose will be this into this will be summation xi yi x1 into y1 plus x2 into y2 plus x3 into y3. This into this will be summation zi yi. Right? Now this matrix that you've got is a 2 cross 2 matrix, which is x transpose x inverse. Yeah? Right? This has to be multiplied by this 2 cross 1 matrix. X transpose y. Yeah? X dash x inverse into x transpose y. X dash X inverse is a 2 cross 2 matrix. X dash Y is a 2 cross 1 matrix. You can do it, no? So 2 cross 2 into a 2 cross 1 matrix will be a 2 cross 1 matrix. So 2 cross 2 is 2 rows, 1 column. The first row will give you the value of beta 1. The second row will give you the value for beta 2. Right? The first will give you the value for beta 1. The second row will give you the value for beta 2. So for example, if my, so take some case, right? Suppose my observations on Y are 3, 2, 1, 4, 5. Okay? And suppose my observations on X1 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And suppose my observations on Z are say 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Right? So this is my Y, this is my X, this is my Z. What are the things that I need? I need summation xi square. I need summation zi square. Right? I actually need this. Right? So I need summation zi square. I need xi into zi. So this into this plus this into this plus this into this plus this into this plus this into this. Put a minus here. Same number will come here. Then I need summation xi z. Right? Xi square. I need summation xi square. So I need 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, which will go here. I need summation xi square. I need summation zi square. I need summation xi zi the whole square. So I need 1 upon summation xi square into summation zi square minus summation xi zi whole square. I need to form this matrix, divide each element here by this quantity. That will give me x transpose x inverse. Then I need summation xi yi, that is this into this plus this into this plus this into this plus this into this plus this into this. I know summation zi yi, that is I need this into this, this into this, this into this, this into this, this into this. Right? Then I need to multiply what I got previously, x dash x inverse into x dash y. Then I will get beta hat 1 and beta hat 2. So your assignment in the next class is to take 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, these numbers. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 2. Right? Just these numbers.
Is that Y, X and Z or just X and Z?
No, this is y. So now let me write this more clearly. Now the video can go. Right? Let me just write this more clearly. So you have y, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, some numbers, right? X is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X, Z is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Right? Okay? Your regression model is yi is equal to beta 1 xi plus beta 2 zi plus ei. Okay? Right? And you must find the value of beta 1 hat, beta 2 hat. Okay? Beta 1 hat and beta 2. Sure? Right? Okay. So that's your homework. There's 10 marks for the taking. No? Yeah, but I want you to understand the mechanics.
So when we multiplied x transpose x inverse of that with x transpose y, in that product we could not find where is this error here.
We are just having y is equal to, so what we are finding is this gap. What we are finding is this unconditional mean. So what we are really finding is the conditional mean function. For the unconditional mean function there is no EI. We obtained it from saying that solving x dash e is equal to 0. The E was required, we don't know what the E is, but we know that x and E have to be perpendicular.
Right.
So by solving x dash E is equal to 0, a little bit of math again. What will x dash E be? It will be x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, z1, z2, z3, z4, z5 into E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, right? So the first equation would be summation xi ei is equal to 0. First row, first column. The second will be summation zi ei is equal to 0. So what it effectively gives you is two equations to solve for two unknowns. What it effectively gives you is two equations to solve for two unknowns, beta 1, beta 2. Right, that's why the E is important. But what you are going to estimate is beta 1, beta 2, z. So what you are estimating is the conditional mean of x given xi, z given zi is equal to beta 1 xi plus beta 2 z. Once you got this, if you plug in the values, you will get a value of y which will be the expected, the predicted average of y. Then E can be approximated by taking each value of y minus this predicted value. Because once you know this function is going to be the conditional mean of y. You have the actual value of y also corresponding to x. So the gap between these two is an estimate of the unknown E. Right? But we still have to come to that point. So all that you need to do is to do this as a part of homework. And tell me if you can find this determinant of x dash x without actually going through the matrix formulation. If you can find the determinant of, second problem is, can you find the determinant of x dash x without actually calculating it from the matrix? Can you find the determinant of x dash x without actually going through the matrix form, without actually finding it from the matrix? How will you do it? Determinant upon n square is the variance of x into variance of y minus the covariance square. Right? So n square into this whole sum will be the determinant. I showed you, determinant upon n square is the variance of x into the variance of y minus the covariance square. Right? So if you find this quantity and multiply by n square, you will get the determinant.